This is your tech news briefing for Wednesday, November 2nd. I'm Julie Chang for the Wall Street Journal, filling in for Zoe Thomas. A lot of us have, streaming service fatigue. Subscription after subscription, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, the list goes on. YouTube thinks it can tackle that fatigue by selling some of those subscriptions itself. The new feature called Primetime Channels launched this week, and it lets users buy over 30 channels like Paramount Plus and Showtime directly on YouTube. The backdrop to all of this is that YouTube last week reported its first drop in advertising revenue since it started breaking out the unit's performance. Parent company Google is dealing with its own challenges, reporting its fifth consecutive quarter of slowing sales growth. So how might this feature help the video platform giant, and how might this impact streaming service providers? Here to answer those questions and more is WSJ reporter Miles Kruppa. Miles, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So Miles, YouTube rolled out an early version of its new streaming service store. Can you tell us more about it? What does it look like?
Sure. So the idea is that these different streaming services, including Paramount Plus, Showtime, Starz, they will all sort of have their own page, kind of like a YouTube creator would. And the idea really is to have these streaming providers have their content seamlessly slot in between the user-generated content that people know and love from YouTube. So, one example they keep repeating is perhaps you're watching a trailer for a hit show on Showtime, and then because of the way these services work together and YouTube's recommendation algorithms, ideally the service will then point you to a way to subscribe to Showtime directly through YouTube.
And why did YouTube launch this new marketplace?
Yeah, so YouTube's big ambition, which it's largely fulfilled already, is to basically be a one-stop shop if you want to watch a video of any kind on any screen. So YouTube already had something called YouTube TV, which is like a cable bundle. It's almost $65 a month. And then, of course, it has things like short-form video, the long-form content. What this is kind of like an in-between. It's more what they call an a la carte option. So for people who might not want to shell out $65 a month for YouTube TV, they can pick and choose a few different services here and there. And it's another way for YouTube to capture the push towards online streaming, but at a lower dollar cost for the consumer. So ultimately, YouTube will split the subscription and advertising revenue from these streaming services with the partners themselves. YouTube wouldn't tell me exactly how that split will break down, but fair to say YouTube could be capturing probably at least a quarter of the revenue from these subscribers.
Okay, so that's what YouTube gets out of it, but what about other streaming companies or entertainment companies? What would they get out of this agreement?
Yeah, with the broader push towards online streaming, there are a lot of older entertainment companies that are trying to catch up to the Netflixes and Hulus of the world, who are kind of coming to this a little bit late and don't quite have the same brand name recognition or distribution. And this is really an easy way for them to get in front of eyeballs. YouTube has more than 2 billion logged in users, and if you can get one of them to click on a Paramount Plus subscription after watching something related on YouTube, even if you're giving up a good amount of that subscription revenue, that's a win if you're sort of a second or third tier subscription streaming service provider.
Couldn't other streaming services like Netflix just offer up something similar?
So Amazon and Apple and Roku are probably the best comparisons. Amazon allows you to add on individual channels to your Prime subscription. Apple TV Plus offers a sort of similar store front for different streaming services. So it is a crowded space. YouTube so far hasn't signed any really exclusive streaming providers to come onto the service, which could be a difficulty. But what executives are really banking on is the reach of YouTube immediately allowing this to become a big business for them.
What does this move by YouTube tell us about where the streaming industry is headed?
Yeah, the streaming industry is in a bit of a transformation period right now. People seem more confused than ever. They might be subscribed to different services on different platforms and not truly understand how much they're paying for all the different streaming services. So I think you're seeing a few things. You're seeing some people try to offer bundles like what Disney is doing with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. And then you're also now seeing platforms like YouTube saying, we want to give consumers more choice while also trying to have consumers be captive to YouTube's platform, right? Maybe it's more choice, but also we would love for you to subscribe to all of your services through YouTube. So there's sort of a few different ways this shakes out. And I think YouTube is basically betting that there's a class of consumers that wants these individual services at a lower cost, and they want them all in one place. If you want it all, you can get YouTube TV for $65 a month. But if you want something that's a bit lower commitment, all in one place, then you have primetime channels.
All right, Miles, we're going to have to leave it there. Miles Kruppa, reporter with the Wall Street Journal, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And that's it for today's Tech News Briefing. For more tech stories, check out our website, WSJ.com. I'm Julie Chang for the Wall Street Journal. Thanks for listening.